let's see if we can get a good stream, a good signal, because it is chem vapored out, dude. I saw it, dude. This is what they do. I've seen it. I've been working outside for fucking 20 something years, dude, probably longer. And I watched when they were first starting to do it about 10, 15 years ago. And it's not that they couldn't do it, it's that on the fucking water on the west coast, along, okay, at Southern California, because I don't know, it's probably wet and arid and colder up north, but here it's too hot and the Pacific jet stream is too strong. It sits still at night, but you see, which is when they have the most success, but they would get real close to having the whole sky filled up. They'd have the whole sky filled up, but then it would just blow away. The Pacific jet stream at random, without doubt, dude, will show up and blow it all away. You just wasted all that. But they are able to layer it up at night, and that's what they do. That's what they've learned. I've watched them. I watched them learn, and they started layering it up at night, and then in the morning, you have a good foundation, a good base, and you layer it up again, and if you can get the temperature to drop enough, the jet stream won't be able to, the jet stream effect isn't created, or it's stymied down so that it doesn't blow that shit away. And you could see it forming the thunderheads, because we've been watching them naturally our whole lives, way off in the east, where you're in East County, San Diego, you're on a mountaintop, or sometimes it's like a clear view, dude, from a plateau. You can see all the way out east, which is probably, as far as the crow flies, it's probably, 100 or a couple hundred miles away, right, in Yuma or Arizona, and you would see the big thunderheads, and you could tell it was raining there, it was arid there, and they would be coming this way, but they never make it, dude. They can't make it across the desert. And then the same thing with the giant desert called the Pacific Ocean, which is like you're trading sand for salt water. It's still a fucking desert. Almost worse, because sand doesn't have as much as a reflection, dude. So that's what's up, dude. So check this out. So then I noticed, this is real shit, dude. Like, you can look at this, you can fact check me on any of this. The people that are doing it, that you need a highly refined jet fuel in order to make it up into the stratosphere where this happens at, okay? And the only people that have the cost-effective supply of oil to do that is the United Arab Emirates. And they have the Air Force and the planes to do it, okay? So that's who's been doing it. You can go look online, capital UAE, it's the acronym for United Arab Emirates, and they have a website that says we don't make weather, but we enhance it. Or we, you know what I mean? They call it seeding. And you can pay them, it's about $1 million a trip. And here in Southern California, Pacific Jet Stream, it takes dozens of trips at the same time to get the layers to fucking pile up. But anyway, so I noticed that when they started doing that commercially, that there was stuff just outside of our airspace, dude, that did have chemical, mood-altering, chemical aerosol inhalates, meaning delivery devices, inhalation, okay? And you would see it, dude. You would see people's moods, stabilization changing. You would see it, dude. Certain communication devices and shit. That's why, am I getting a good signal? That was the other reason I wanted to see if I'm getting a good signal, dude. But check this out. So there's a lot going on, dude. It's going to be a good fucking stream, dude. So, I've been watching it, man. Google it right now as I'm speaking, and you're going to be like, oh shit, okay. Take this fucking ride with me, dude. So, there's aerosol inhalants. They're trying to do some shit, but they can't hit it too hard because you don't really know what the weather's going to do, dude. And it could blow down on you. That stuff's in the environment. So it's a touchy thing, right? But it could still be done, dude, to undermine elections, things that are going on. You could definitely create a depression that makes people not leave the house, dude, okay? So, anybody that knows, lithium is a mood stabilizing element. It's on the periodic table of elements. Lithium. If you remember, all elements on the periodic table have 3 fucking states: a liquid, a solid, and a gas. It's true. So, lithium in its gas state, you refine it and bring it to its gas state, is just like a CO2 cartridge. When you fucking let it out, it freezes the fucking air. Right? You know how the balloon gets frozen on a CO2 cartridge? Oh, good. Thank you, Splendid. Thank you, man. Thank you. Everybody left. You're the only one in here. Haha. Glad you're in here, man. And the sound is good. Yeah, because I thought they were gonna okay, when they did this, but I don't know. Now I was told it also they use aluminum. Aluminum's a periodic table. It's also can be in a gaseous form, and they use that to make, like, sometimes you see those clouds like are silver. It's to reflect the light, and that's to do the same thing that your car windshield shield that you put up does, kind of blocks the light. And that's how they start the seeding process. The aluminum first, and that creates like a shiny effect that allows you to like put an umbrella up, sort of like you're dropping the temperature, you're retaining the moisture by having this reflective barrier. Then they are spraying the lithium, okay, which is, it's a mood stabilizer. And that's probably to counteract, like I watched this dude on the Pacific coast, dude. I would watch them way out, and the things would come from the ocean, and you could tell, and it would be like, it would have a bad feeling, dude. And he'd say like, oh man, that came from Russia, China, or somebody out in international airspace when the wind was going this way, and it worked, dude, and it came in. And then you'd see planes taking off from out east, which had to have been like Yuma Air Force Base. You'd see way up north, which is probably Edwards Air Force Base. And they'd go up, and you'd see this, they do the same thing, dude. And it would all kind of fall down, and I noticed, dude, it was fucking had mood stabilizing capabilities. Sometimes some of them will put you in a good mood. You ever had anybody like say that, or seen it, or felt it, or done it yourself? You come out in the morning on a beach air, and you're like, take a whiff of that good ass prana, dude. You know what I mean? Like that. It's real, dude. You could have positive and negative charged ions. That affects mood. There's like a lot of little weird little shit you could do, and if you were doing them all at once, this shit is fucking real. And it's like lithium, dude. That's what there is. I was thinking about this. I'm like, wait a minute. So all this lithium mining, and they're like, people are like, like going crazy for lithium. If everybody in the world was driving a lithium fucking battery car right now, you still wouldn't need that much. What the fuck? Because, you know what I mean? Because batteries are good forever, pretty much. That one that you see catching on fire every day, how many of them videos you see? One? Even if it's a couple, bro, fucking, they're selling hundreds of thousands of those cars. You seen one or a couple of batteries catch on fire? Like, that's insanely fucking good odds, bro. That's like 1,000,000 to 1. So they do last forever. They have a 10-year warranty, I'm pretty sure, Tesla battery. So what the fuck, bro? What are they using? What are they feeding for all this lithium for, dude? Did you know Slab City's a lithium mine? For years I said, why do they allow it to be a squatter camp? And then they tell people about it. If you don't want people there, why are you telling them about it? And then it encourages other people to make videos. And people see like, well, there's something to this because I'm bombarded with videos, so I'll make a slab video and it'll like get some views, and it's like a snowball, and they know that. And I'm saying that they don't want people there. Why would they do that? You're watching the way this election is controlled and the way they're controlling everything. And you're seeing with this Diddy shit and the Epstein shit, you're seeing like, this is like real power and control. You cannot deny that there is real power and real control out there. And you're telling me in a world of real power and real control that you can't figure out how to fucking stop a squatters camp, or you're gonna continue to advertise this squatters camp, and then you come to find out, oh, this squatters camp is on a fucking huge lithium reserve. So yeah, just like when they talk about bringing down the property value in areas in the inner city by introducing drugs and allowing crime, right, to run rampant, and you know what I mean? Like maybe you open a few state-run halfway houses so you make sure that prisoners are being released into that community. There's a lot of things. Make a liquor store on every corner. You make the permit process to build housing very difficult, but the permit process to get a liquor license or put a liquor store up or a church, which both do the same thing basically, but just for different ends of the spiritual spectrum. But that's it, man. You're gonna bring down the property value in an area in order to do what your future. This is the long game, dude. The long game. And that's it, dude. We're seeing your letter from your name, from your birth certificate name being in all caps to put you on a physical maritime plane, subject to the rules and the laws and the wording, right, of the legal system, which is, if you trace that all the way back, it's just all the same stuff. Oh, shit. It's all the same stuff. The long game, power and control and allocation of resources over the long period of time. And so it's like you're seeing all this stuff, and it's obvious. That's why they're not letting anything happen, or they're not ignorant to anything. They're doing it on purpose to keep that place dangerous and unsafe, so that nobody wants it. And the government or the mining company or a corporation, whoever is really in charge, can have it. And there's all these other things. So I'm grateful, dude, that for one thing, if you're set up in a humble spot, dude, and you're not as much as a target. But here's the thing, what they're coming for next, dude. They're coming for the black market. They're coming for the underground economy, dude. They're coming for what's under the table. You know, California's under the table work, just the underground economy of California, ranks like maybe in the top 10 or top dozen economies of the world, dude. California is the #1 economy in the world with a bullet, dude, by a factor of a lot. Go look it up. They'll show you every country GDP from lowest to highest, and California is #1, and it's like ridiculously higher. A lot of it has to do with intellectual property. Hollywood, Silicon Valley, those two alone probably carry California by a few $100 billion. Because it's in the fucking trillions, though. It's crazy. You're like, what? But yet, the weird thing is like I want AI to run the government because I know it's going to be efficient and effective, dude. And all this waste, like the five guys watching one guy dig a hole, those days are over, dude. Or maybe they're just beginning. Maybe everybody's going to have to do something. I like Elon's idea of universal, but instead of basic income, he's like, no, universal high income. But they got to knock down the population a little bit, dude. So they're either working towards giving everybody something. You're either a LGBTQ and you get your LGBTQ check from California. They're already doing that. Or they're talking about reparations, right? Or you're black, you get reparations, or you have black ancestors, right? You get reparations. And then they have something like if you've been in the California penal system, you could get $900 a month or whatever it is because of the, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just noticing it's like a setup because it would go easier. It'd be easier for the free market people to swallow that socialist pill or that communist pill. You know, everybody has an angle, everybody has a check, right? This one gets SSI, that one gets reparations, this one gets fucking child support, right? Well, I see they're trying to abolish child support too, because they are going to be able to track even the underground economy. I just think it's so low. It's like, I think I make $30,000 maybe a year. Maybe on a good year. I didn't do that last year. If I'm being honest, I think you wouldn't even believe it, dude. You wouldn't even believe. You wouldn't even believe how much money I'm able to live off of. And then, like, when you look, it can only be God, dude. Because when you look, you're like, okay, if you lived on, let's just say it was under $10,000 a year. But you would be like, I want to see what that person looks like. And it's like a nice 2-story beach house with an ocean view in a nice neighborhood. You guys have seen it. You go to my content, look at my videos, right? It's all marble floor. Nice, you know what I mean? It's not like a full solid slab. It's, you know, mosaic style, but it's nice, dude. Anyway, and like, the only thing is what I noticed by being international, running a business in America and living outside and having like a view of what's going on, I seen the food quality and prices change in Mexico. It's very hard to find like natural. They're kind of starting on the trip that we're just trying to get off of, which is the highly processed, long shelf life type shit. And a lot of that stuff, a lot of those food items symbolize like wealth and prosperity there. So a lot of people will shop at the Walmart, the Smart and Final, or the fucking, like, you know what I mean? Like imported, highly fucking processed shit, because that's what's considered bougie and expensive. But what I noticed down there is that high level of autism, dude, and I don't see it. With the Pueblo people, dude, or indigenous people, I see fucking zero autism. With poor people, I see zero autism, because they're more careful about who they pick in animal husbandry, and they're all about big. Mexico's all about big and boom, and you know what I mean? So their animal husbandry, everybody's like big, bro, and like big body parts and big fucking, like, to animal husbandry to make bigger kids and stronger kids, and they're eating naturally. They don't afford that bullshit, or they're like, you know. And I see zero autism. And now I see like real like European blood heavy, like what they call like quote unquote abuelito type people. You know the type. Never leave Mexico. Son millonarios allá, and they pull up into the Soriana with their freaking Mercedes Benz, and the woman's dressed to the nines, whatever. right? Usually has some old viejita with her, servant, right? Or the two pair together, the man and the lady, and they're dressed to the nines, and like money's no object and shit. The kid's got autism, dude, like a motherfucker, dude. You see it like stimming in the store type shit, like they're like, yo. So I think it's the food, the processed shit, but I can't say for sure. But aside of the conspiracy, just looking at fact, that I've seen a lot of the food become replaced with higher preservative, more ingredients, longer shelf life, and the price has evened out. And there's a content creator I watch from Germany, but he lives in California, but he goes back to Germany and he's comparing the prices in the food, the grocery store there and the grocery store here, and they're all kind of about the same, dude. Even the denominations are similar. And so, go, bro. Fucking idiot, dude. Look at the stupid motherfucker. You know what I mean? You got a handicap placard. That's how you know when there's something wrong with the motherfucker. Because they're willing to have a handicap placard. There's nothing wrong with you. Just to get over and get that spot. There's nothing wrong with that guy. In Mexico, if you were handicapped, the last thing you would do would be put a placard or advertise it on your car. Because you don't want anybody to know that there's anything wrong with you or that you have some kind of disability. It's true. That's why they don't have handicap accessible buses and things. Because first of all, they don't want the neighbors or anybody to know. You ain't gonna leave the house, bro. You ain't gonna wheel the chair out the house. That's just how it is. But I'm just saying, like, not saying whether it's right or wrong. But here, people slap their handicap sticker on there. Dude, there was this brother at the freaking gas station. This dude, man, he was in the Navy. Navy guy, so you're an upstanding guy, right? Supposedly. Pulls in the handicap spot and gets out. And I'm just kind of like, double take, like, damn, this guy's like 7 feet tall. Navy dude. Should be looking out for handicapped people, but instead you went and got yourself a handicap placard and you're like, okay, well, maybe it was one of his family members or something. Like, okay, but then why did he take that space knowing that like a handicapped person's not gonna? It's just weird, bro. It's weird how Harvard did a study, dude, and they found 100% unequivocally across the board that the more status and wealth and prosperity somebody has, the less likely they are to be honest, especially when given, and this is how they did the experiment was, they were giving people too much change back and recording the data, and they 100% of the time were less likely to give the change back. Sometimes even knowing, because they stepped it up a notch. They're like, hey, well, it's my first day. I'm not doing very good. I've already got in trouble. And they were still more likely. They also did a thing where people were given the option to be able to cheat, like, and make it seem like you figured out yourself. Oh shit, they left the answer key there, and they found that people that were, the more money and the more affluence people had, the more likely they were to cheat. And the psychological reason for that is that the more value somebody has, the more they feel that their time, their position, anything that they're doing is obviously more important than somebody else's time or money or whatever, because you are physically more important. Or more valuable. I shouldn't say important. You're more valuable than others or somebody else. Ain't that something, dude? Even if you know it's going to hurt somebody. So that's why they say, like, usually when, you know, something is good or high up, it's like it's usually got less on the inside, right? That's why you find like very, very good looking people are usually the most empty on the inside. I mean, I don't think you would find anybody that's extremely good looking that will argue with that, dude. If they did, it's probably just because of the ego or they have a tremendous value and they don't want to admit that they're, you know what I mean, doing something wrong or that's not very valuable spiritually. Or when you get old, dude. See, that's why they say God's cruel. Why do we get old? Why do we get fucked up? I can't believe they made such a nice looking young man or young lady and then you're all old and weird. Like, God is cruel. It's like, no. God's cruel to you because you didn't learn how to be a good person on the inside. If you learn how to be a good person on the inside, none of that will really matter. And actually, if you ask me, those type of people tend to look better at an older age and be more gracious because of that reason, dude. Isn't that crazy? I have good ceremony. That's good. Yeah, I'm glad. Thank you guys for being in here, dude. I'm gonna post this one. So I haven't really like had anything like remarkably profound, but here's how I know that there is an aerosol inhalant in this fucking cloud shit. Because the further away I get from the beach, dude, I'll wake up, it'll be like a fucking panic for nothing, dude. Sometimes I see the animals like that. And I'd be like, what the fuck, dude? Anyway. The further I get away from it, I'm driving away from it and then I'm in the sunshine. And then I look back and I can see the beach. Oh shit, it has like a blob cloud over it and I'm getting away. The cloud's moving at 6 miles an hour. I'm moving at 60. Okay. And then I start to feel better and everything's better. And then I see the blob coming. And then it'll be like the same shit. And a minute ago, you couldn't see your hand in front of your face and the windshield wipers had to be on high. And it was like full-on panic attack, dude. And now I'm away from it, out of it, and it's better. Isn't that crazy? So I'm going to go in here, get something to eat, go do this job. It's going to be interesting to see. Oh, yeah. That was what I was saying, dude. So knowing that they're sending people into a dangerous position, they're having people like, they don't respect you. They don't care about you. Knowing that they were going to zap all those people in Maui or in Northern California, they didn't give a fuck, dude. Right? They didn't give a fuck about any of the North Carolina people, dude. The people over there that got wiped out in Appalachia. I think there's going to be a black swan event, dude. I think they're just coming up with some bullshit. And they want to do alien invasion so bad, dude. But it's just so lame and fucking retarded and laughable. Like, they're like, bro, people are calling out this moon mission because of that janky fucking tinfoil fucking landing vehicle, right? And then you're gonna fucking shoot some holograms on some fucking cloud vapor and the people are supposed to just believe it's an alien invasion? Like, it's not, dude. How about the first guy that calls bullshit, just like on the vaccines? And now everybody's like anti-vaccine. Right? Where they would have hung you from your balls for saying that fucking 2 years ago. That's why they're not doing it, because it's so fucking hokey and it's an alien invasion, bro. That's way hokier than a fucking pandemic. I'll take the first one, bro. I'll volunteer to go take the first one toe to toe. Because it's fucking fake. What should I get to eat? I'm gonna do liquid diet. I just need something. I just need something. Let's do. Hey, good morning, bro. I'll do 2 banana, 2 for $1.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Okay. Is that gonna be it? Do you have any oatmeal cookies? Oh, dude. I forgot I have a kitten in the car. I'm selling a kitten to somebody. Thank you, sir.
You got it, bro.
Thank you, man.
Have a nice day.
You too. Dude, I got a kitten in the car. Gotta make sure this little baby's okay. Oh yeah, she's sleeping. Look. All right. I'm probably gonna. Dude, wait till our Black Swan event in California. That's the thing. I bet you we don't get no warning sign. Like Maui, they didn't get no warning sign. North Carolina, they got warning sign. Florida got warning sign. Like if you got evacuation orders, bro, you got a warning sign. But they didn't have, or they stopped their evacuation at that one-way road. That's because you have boobs in charge. Don't use common sense. They just go off of orders. Somebody's telling me to hold up traffic. You could see death coming, but they're gonna hold it up because I get it. Sometimes like things seem counterintuitive, but it's like as soon as I see the first couple of motherfuckers getting fried, bro, I'm gonna let you go, or you know what I mean, or I'm gonna bust through the thing. I don't know. My whole thing is don't. I think it's going to be a false flag because it's the #1 economy, dude. So they're not, it seems like they're taking everything of value, okay? It's probably a corporation that has the fucking resources and the things in position, satellites, right? Jet fuel, lasers. Anyway. It seems that as long as you just hide in nature, and don't, a long time ago, dude, I had a dream. It was a weird, I almost like call it like a vision, because I'm not sure if it was like a vision or a waking, like revelation I had like during a prayer time, but I remember it was really vivid, dude. And I don't dream. Okay? And I had a very, very dream that there was a famine or a bad event, and all the people were in like these camps. It was like a chain link fence. It was like rickety, falling down. Like you didn't even like, it's like, why even bother have a fence? Like I couldn't understand how they, you know what I mean? It was like, I opened the door for them, Dr. Vector, but they just stood there. You know, they were too dumb to run. And Daddy was grabbing them and busting them in the head one after another. And they opened the gate. They just stood there. Like that type shit, dude. So, and you thought if you could save one, you could save them all. Is that it, Clarice? So, I think, I had this dream, man. I seen all the people were in a fucking thing, and the fence was so rickety. I'm like, what are you guys doing, dude? Like, and they were like, we're starving, and all their shelters, everybody was in like shelters, bro, just like at the fucking Gaza Strip, dude. And but all the stuff, the makeshift shelters were like a empty plastic bag of Miracle Grow, you know what I mean? Like an empty plastic bag of Vigoro. Like they were all like grow and farming products, empty bags that they were using like for makeshift shelters and stuff. And they were like claiming that they were starving, and I'm like, I don't understand, why aren't you guys farming? You have all this like farming shit. And they were just like, oh, huh? And I'm like, well, just come with me, like I know. And they're like, what are we gonna eat? And I was like, just like thinking like, wow, weird. I remember I was like, I'm like, I'm not going. They were like, come on in. And, oh, that's right. No, they didn't say come in. There was like these wizards, dude, that looked like fucking Gandalf. There was like 3 or 4 Gandalfs that were like guarding him or like staring watch, but they weren't like hurting him or fucking him up or anything. Oh, I know where I'm at. I know where I'm going. I'm over here. I went 1 block too far. And I was like, then the people were all, oh, help. And I was like, damn, what's up with these people, right? And I went to go in there, and their rickety ass fucking fence, and Gandalf was like, halt. And I was like, get the fuck out of the way, Jesus. I mean, get out of the way, Gandalf. He's like, well, under whose authority are you coming here? I go, I'm coming in the authority of Jesus Christ. Get out of the way, Gandalf. And he like stepped aside, and I was like, what's wrong, dude? What's going on, you guys? Like, what? Because they were like, oh, we're hungry, help us. And I was like, what? How can you be hungry? You got all of this fucking Miracle Grow and Vigoro and Fox Farms. I'm like, bro, how do you have a bag of, like, you got like 20 bags of Fox Farm, enough to make a tent out of the fucking plastic bags? You know what I mean? But you don't, like, what? Like, something's not making sense. Like, just do the old-fashioned farm, pig farming, dude, where you don't have to wait for it to grow. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It didn't make sense. And I was like, yeah, none of this makes sense. And they were like, no, but we need the wizards because they give us food stamps. And I was like, why? You don't need food stamps if you grow food, dude, dumbass. And like, not only that, but what good are food stamps if they don't have any fucking food? Dude, it just didn't make sense. It was like in life. Like when I'm talking to people or somebody's trying to put their dick in my ear or con me. No, that's funny talk for con me. You know what I mean? Or I noticed that I start asking the right questions to get to the bottom of the bullshit. And if it doesn't add up, or if you're telling me, you know, I have to stop illegal immigrants because they're taking all our jobs and they're on welfare, it's like, well, which is it, dude? You can't work and be on welfare. It's one or the other. Like there's something that's not adding up. Like, that's how I know when the person's like kind of crazy, right? Where they're telling you like, yeah, I got the good dope over here, but they're dope sick or whatever. Like, I'm just trying to make analogies, dude, where you're like, they're saying one thing, but it doesn't add up. Or like, yeah. There's like a 6-star general, right? Like 6-star general, right? Or the 536 brigade, right? But there is no 530. You're like, what? Or like, this general has like 6 stars. Like, there's no such thing as a 6-star general, fucking weirdo. You know what I mean? Like, we're like on the stolen valor shit. How people are like, go up to them and go, oh, you were at, where'd you do your training? In Norfolk? Or no, they don't say, where'd you do your training? Oh, I was in San Diego. Oh, what class were you? And they're like, 67th. And they're like, 67th? That would mean you graduated in 1948. Like, what? Like they get to they know the right questions to ask. And when the answers don't make sense, you know something's wrong. And that's what I go off of, dude. I call bullshit. And that's what I was doing. in that dream, in that scenario. I was like, this doesn't make sense. There's something weird here. They're probably locked into a codependent relationship, and a refugee wizard dynamic. I don't know. So I'm out of here. And I was like, you know what I mean? And I just left. And now what's weird is it's coming true, dude. I had the same thing on 9/11, dude. When 9/11 happened, the morning of 9/11, I was dreaming that there was little holes in the ground all over. I was in the desert, and all the little holes were smoking, and and the lizards were coming out, and they were like screaming in pain and like coughing and dying. And I was like, I remember feeling really bad, like, oh my god, where is this smoke coming from? How is this on fire? This isn't something that should be like on. All those lizards are dying. And what can I do? Oh my god! And like some of them were like jumping out to get away, and I was like, fuck. And I woke up. I remember thinking like, damn, that was a weird dream. And I turned the TV on, and the first tower had already been hit, and people were like, it was on fire, and they were filming people jumping out, and I was like, holy shit, dude, that's crazy. Those are the lizards. And then I witnessed in real time, dude, that as I was watching that, like tripping out, the second one hit, bah, and I was like, whoa. So, and now it seems like this is kind of happening here, or it might, or somewhere. I'm just saying, dude. But I'll never forget, it was very vivid, just like that 9/11 one where everybody was like sheltering using old crates and plastic tarps that were all from grow products, but they were claiming starvation and they had to be in this camp because they were providing them with food, even though they were starving in there and they were too afraid to leave. Crazy, dude. But they are telling us 2030. They keep. Oh, here's the other thing. See, I think that they know no UFO is too obvious and goofy of a black swan, but and people can argue with it. Conspiracy people believe stuff sometimes that aren't true. It would be so easy to make conspiracies about aliens, but nobody's gonna deny a comet or an asteroid, right? Or an asteroid maybe that we're gonna like try to blow up and then it creates like a whole bunch of them. Like there's a lot of scenarios they could do. Or it's gonna be just like more chaotic natural events like wildfires, flash floods. California's thing is earthquakes, man, and what's scary about that is you don't get an evacuation order. You have no notice. And it's never happened. I've lived through the big earthquake in Northridge, the Northridge quake, uh, that sent a couple bridges, the San Francisco quake during the World Series. Remember that? But people were still able to transport. They were still able to travel. I guess that's the word I'm looking for. They were still able to travel, right? We've never had like the big one, the big San Francisco quake, the 9 or 10.0. I don't think they had the Richter scale back then, but like it's estimated it might have been like in the 8 or 9s. I don't know. But we weren't really like, I don't think that we had the freeway system that we had. In fact, part of PCH might have still been wooden planks, dude. And part of fucking Route 66 in the desert could have been wood planks because they're still there. They're still fucking there, man. You can go see them. So I just hope we can all get around, dude. Hey, good to see you, man. I gotta go too, you guys. What? What's the message, dude? Oh. Hey, why did you guys hide that message, dude? Don't moderate people, dude. Yeah. I just made you a moderator to show you you're a special person in my life and to distinguish you guys that have been here for a long time from like other people, dude. like as a reward, like, show you guys are special. I don't want you to use it to moderate people, even if they're trolling me or saying really bad stuff to me, because that's the death of a channel, dude. And it is, dude. If you're trolling somebody, look, this is what I learned. I've been trolling people that I didn't like, and those people were like open, receptive, cool, whatever, for whatever reason, and it changed my whole mind. Right? And if I would have got moderated, that never would have happened. Okay? And then the other thing is that if I'm trolling somebody and my comment gets moderated, I'm out of there, dude. I'm out of there with an immediate unfollow. And I'll tell you why, because it's not fun for me, dude. And that's why, like, really weird people and certain mutants, right, or neurodivergent mutants are the most popular people on social media, because motherfuckers want to make fun of them. They want to talk shit, right? They want to leave nasty comments. And if you take that away from them, what do they want to be there for, dude? And some people's thinking is, well, I don't want to promote hate. But let me be real quick and clear about this. The same way the Lord was clear with it with me, was that they're going to hate you anyway, dude. Right? Just like, oh, I don't want to get into comedy because I don't want people laughing at me. Well, guess what? God said, bro, they laughing at your ass anyway, and they gonna laugh at your ass anyway. So you might as well make money off of it, because they gonna do it anyway. Except you don't have anything. You're not holding anything over their head in retaliation, because you're not getting anything. You don't have shit. But if you're getting something out of it, especially if they're paying for it, right? Like whatever comment you make, like, oh, why don't you go smoke some drugs? Like, okay, I might as well, because you're paying for it. If you take that away from them, then I got to pay for it, dude. That's a problem. Right? That's when we have the beginning stages of the problem. As long as somebody else is paying for it, there's no problem, dude. Yeah, so don't do that, dude. Oh, man, yeah, I'm glad you came in here. Right on, yeah. You know what's crazy? It seemed like last couple times I went live, I was getting so many so many people come in. It was like ridiculous amount, dude. I didn't know if like YouTube was starting to push the lives. That's what it seemed like to me, like in order to compete with TikTok. But then I started going live, and then thank you, bro. You know what? In no way, shape, or form is it a blessing. It's actually a curse, and I'm gonna tell you why. Especially in Mexico, dude. And I've heard this. I've thought to myself, I'm like, dude, people will avoid you like the plague. They won't fuck with you. They don't want to be seen, because they all think you're a fucking Italian mobster that's there to do drug trafficking. And I've seen, like, there's a couple of channels, dude, from some famous, like, made guys that went to prison and reformed, and now they do social media. And they all said the same thing. One of them was on The Connect, Joni Mitchell's channel, The Connect. But dude, you've got to be an inside plug, because I tried that, and I'm actually living it. And you're not getting the traction, you're not getting the interest, but he comes out of nowhere, and then all of a sudden, boom. Because you did 2.5 years in federal prison? That's where they got him, bro. Just like Rogan and everybody else. You're pushing their narrative. They got you, dude. And I thought maybe that's what they were doing for me, because for a minute there was hundreds of people. Even if they were coming through, it would show like 50 or 60 or 20 at a time in the chat or in the room. But then when I'd get offline, it'd be like 200, 300 views, just like in a 10-minute period. So I figured like whatever they're showing in the chat or just people that are coming through. And then for a while, in my FYP, other random people's lives where they're just like sitting on the porch or doing whatever. And I was like, oh, they're trying to push the live content. But then like yesterday on a Sunday, and even right now, there's not that many people. It's weird. But anyway, I think I'm going to get off here, dude. Oh, yeah, on Joni Mitchell's podcast, there's some like actual made guys. And their story was like, I wanted to go straight to the source, man. So I went to Colombia, I went to Sinaloa, and I got hooked in the mafia. And it was like really hard. Like people didn't want to be seen around me or with me, or they like really paranoid. And it was because everybody thinks if you're Italian that that's what you're there for, and that, you know what I mean, if you're fucking with them and then you're involved in it some kind of way and they're gonna come and get you. And it's funny, dude. But anyway, but I'm gonna get out of here. I gotta get to work. I'm significantly far away, dude, from all that shit. It's like precipitation though. We're getting chem vapored out. You know what's crazy, bro? Check this out, dude. Oh yeah, in the old YouTube videos, think about this, 10 or 15 years ago, the YouTube app was not on the phone. In fact, nobody even had smartphones yet, let alone knew what an app was. And that was the thing about like people that made YouTube channels and knew how to make YouTube channels knew, okay, I got to get this app, and then I got to create an email account. And I know somebody, or they were all doing it on personal computers. That's where you get apps. I remember seeing somebody's PC was just full of apps, the whole screen, long before smartphones. And so, and you had to have money, dude, right? You had to have money to have a computer and a video camera, because there was no phone to do it with, or it was really shitty quality if you had a camera phone. And so there was like a lot of military people doing it because you had the time, you had the interest in content, there was no regulations that much yet, and you had the know-how. And a Navy pilot should be a pretty smart person, right? If anybody could figure it out, it'd be a Navy pilot, right? So I always remember seeing a lot of content from Navy pilots, combat footage. I remember one guy would post his pre-flight briefings, you know, when they give you the briefing, come in, and I forget what they call it, and he had his phone in his top pocket and he'd film it. And a lot of times his content would get taken down out like a while after, but it was up, dude. Now you can't even find that creator, the content, any of it anymore. You can't even find those videos of the what's the Gatling gun, the Warthog? It's hard to find those anymore, dude. right? You used to be able to see them mowing people down. Anyway, yeah, lots of rich kids, right? So I remember seeing a pilot was filming his pre-flight brief, and they had him all in there, and the guy was showing a thermo radar image of a crowd at a lecture time downtown Baghdad, and the thermo imaging was showing the brain activity, and it was in bright red. And then he showed the mission that we flew over the area where they released aerosol injections that are breathed through inhalation, and how the inhalation allowed the drug to bypass the blood-brain barrier, which is a similar thing that happened when you shoot up, right? It's another fancy way of saying it's a more effective delivery system of a drug, okay? And they then proceed to show the thermo imaging after on the same crowd, and the fucking brain activity was almost non-existent. In other words, it was all blue or bluish green, and there was very little red, almost none. It'd be more like an orange, yellow, if maybe a dot in certain, but by and large, it was a drastic difference. And I guess this was supposed to be motivation, like, this is what you guys are doing, this is the purpose. So be motivated, be pumped, right? Because you got to remember, they're up there for 10, 12, 15 hours at a time. That's why amphetamine pills are very popular, dude. And you see Buzz Aldrin, he looks like a fucking old tweak. And he has the mannerisms and that fucking tardive dyskinesia and all that shit. And the googly eyes. Look at him at his old age, man. And it's because they can't fall asleep. If you believe the moon mission, if you believe it, on the capsule that they had to drive from, there was 3 or 4 windows as big as a face, a head. And when they were aiming at the moon, they had to keep the moon oriented in that window the whole time. Because if you drifted off, in other words, if you lost sight of that moon out of that window, your chances of being able to find it in the vastness of space and reorient it going 23,000 miles an hour are like 0 to none, dude. In fact, you're going to burn up your fuel that you only have a certain amount to get there and get back. You don't have extra to be looking and searching. So you had to keep that moon in that window. And it was vibrating. The guys talk about it, and it was difficult, but you're talking about, I think it was 36 hours, 72 hours, something crazy, bro. Like a week, 6 days, 4 days, 3 days or something. I looked into the moon mission that just happened. Took 3 weeks, dude. And I'm like, wait, what? And I started looking, I'm like, wait, what? They're claiming that, oh, we did that in a couple of days? Bullshit. And I went back and I looked at it, and supposedly it's a world record for man piloted speed, okay? And it's like 26,000 miles an hour or whatever, in order for them to do it in 3 or 4 days, right? And they had, like, 36,000 gallons of water on them from a fresh spring in northern Florida. There was like a lot of interesting shit, dude. That tells you a lot, bro. That's considered the best water on Earth that you have access to. Just so you know. So anyway, they supposedly did this hurtling through space. If it's true, then they were going that fast. Yeah, you had to keep the moon oriented in that tiny little window while it's vibrating violently for 72 hours, 130 hours or whatever, and there's only 3 of you. That means if everybody drove for 12 hours at a time, like, dude, and how do you even do that? Stare at a screen for 12 hours or a window to keep you know what I mean? To keep the rocket going in the right direction, oriented towards the moon. It makes sense why you start getting tired and falling asleep. It's a multi-million-dollar vehicle. It's $100 million mission. Other lives are like amphetamines is the lesser of all the evil. That's what they do. That's what they do for Navy pilots, dude. They go up. They don't just come back down. They go up and do their mission, whatever they're doing, refuel in the air, all kinds of shit. They're up there for 10, 12 hours at a time. And that's what they have those pills for. So a lot of these people, bro, your shit don't stink and they talk all this stuff and everything like that, but you're doing it at the highest levels, dude. Fucking facts. And do I think they're going into space? No. Do I think they went to the moon? No. I think they're going into the upper stratosphere, the upper atmosphere. And I think unless you're hurtling at incredible speeds that take way bigger of a rocket than what Elon's doing. That's why Elon shot his rocket off and it didn't make it into space, dude. You seen it hit the thing. Then they had that supposed meteor crash in over there. That was his fucking thing, dude. Not going. And then 3 days later, NASA launches one. And it was like huge, dude. The recovery to recover those astronauts, right? And it was like they were like, no, this is how you do it, bro. They're humbling him because he's the state guy. He's the state shill. He's the new age shill, government shill that they're grooming and getting ready. But he has to still be checked, like they're doing to Diddy and they do to Epstein. They're power checking you, dude. Like, go ahead, yo, Elon, you recovered the booster rocket. Oh my God, that's so awesome. But you didn't make it into outer space. This is how it's done. Like, you know what I mean? Just to show you, like, bro, you don't get your head too big, bro. We're still in control. It's true, right? But he is recovering them. You ain't recovering that rocket. NASA, that's a full-on waste. And then they got to build another one? Like, it's all a show, bro. It's all a show. They're leaking this to you and me. Everything has a reason. If everybody had a lithium car right now, lithium-based battery car, they still wouldn't have enough. They still wouldn't need as much lithium as they're actively mining right now, dude. It's because it's being refined into a pure elemental state. Lithium is on the periodical chamber of elements, which means it has 3 states: a liquid, a solid, and a gas. And they refine it into gas, and they're shooting that gas as a mood stabilizer to counteract these anti-mood stabilizers, either depressants or stimulants, but stimulants that stimulate like the anger part of your brain, the right, the part that's responsible for like, there's different parts of your brain, dude, that release different chemicals when you're doing things like fighting, hunting, killing. Like, there's a lot of things. You could give somebody an adrenaline rush that'll paralyze them. Like, there's a lot of things you could do, dude, that really screw with people, but it has to be done at a really low level because you never know which direction the wind's going to change or if it remains in the environment. So it's done at a really subtle, small scale. And the lithium is like the mood stabilizer, dude. It's like the cure. So whoever has the most lithium is going to be able to protect their airspace by living in this bubble of like beach air, this good ass product. Like, you know what I mean? When you breathe a fresh breath of positively ion charged beach air and you're like, you know what I mean? And ions in the desert are negatively charged. That's why people in the inland communities are more hostile and people at the beaches are typically laid back. And the beach is way more chaotic. It should be the opposite. But nature probably does that because it's easier on the beach to survive. You have ocean, marine life, right? You could dig in the sand. You can find crabs like everywhere. And so it behooves you to be more laid back and go slow so you don't suck up all your resources. And in the desert, where survival is more necessary, it's more dangerous, your negatively charged ions, where it's like it's more fear. It's, you know what I mean? It's more fear based. It's more aggressive. Crazy. Anyway, well, I'm gonna get to work, dude. Gotta stay fucking golden, dude. Showers fucking better than chemtrail showers, dude. We got showered by fucking ice crystals.